Well, good morning, everybody. Grace and peace to you from our Lord Jesus Christ and all the saints here in our lab. Um, as you guys know, I am on call. Uh, Sometimes from work, I get called. Got called this morning from some devices here in the lab, from our help desk about some devices here in the lab. We've got all these instruments here. There's all kinds. There's some that are back there. They're all very complicated, and I don't want to get into analyst's way, or I'd give you a tour of it. But what happens is the results from all these instruments that you see back there were not flowing into our electronic medical records program, Cerner. So the help desk called me and said, results aren't flowing. They tried rebooting the server, still wasn't working. So they gave me a call. So then I tried to reboot the server just in case. And yeah, same thing. Would not come up. So we come here into our lab closet. Sorry for the chin shot there. And what we have is these, it's hard to see behind all these cables. Believe it or not, this rack is cleaner than it used to be. Down here you got 3 terminal servers. And those of you that have been around for a while might remember DEC, Digital Equipment Corporation, and the DEC terminal servers. Well, that's exactly what these are. They've just been rebranded by Cerner and put their firmware in it. And basically, we've got RS-232 cables, basically, that run from those machines all the way here to this terminal server. So these are all RS-232 signals here, not Ethernet. We use Cat5 cables, but they're RS-232 signals. They go into this terminal server. It gets aggregated and then sent over the Ethernet to Cerner, and then they unpack it all and send the results to the correct queues in Cerner that display the results to the doctors and nurses and patients. And so what happened this morning is this guy here on the bottom just died. That's our production one. And we've got a non-production one that they use for testing that's here in the middle. And this top one is a spare. So I called Cerner and said, okay, I've tried rebooting this one down here a couple of times. It's not working. Can we configure this spare as a production? So that's what they did. It took them about 45 minutes or so to get that configured up. And then they had me move all these RS-232 cables, port by port, 1 to 1, 2 to 2, so on. And a few minutes later, everything was back up and running. So I guess this qualifies as an issue of the week. It's funny because the help desk, they're always so apologetic that they have to call me in the middle of the night. I wish you didn't have to call me, but it's my job. So, when you get out there into the field, you're probably going to find, most of you, that there's going to be some sort of, you're going to have some sort of off hours availability. So the job doesn't quit when you go home. Now for me, luckily, I share that with 2 other people, so I'm on call every 3rd week. I don't expect the phone to ring when I'm not on call, but sometimes it does. If they can't get a hold of the other people that are on call, then they will try to call me. So on call. Another thing, here you go. Another thing, sometimes on call is paid, sometimes it is not. Sometimes it's just expected as part of your job. Now, if you're paid hourly like I am, you're probably going to get paid for it. If you're in a salaried position like I was in my last job, I wasn't paid for it then. So, like I said, it's just it's one of the non-glamorous parts of the job. So, anyway, yeah. So kind of a relatively short one this week. Not a whole lot happened this week because I was on vacation last week, And there really wasn't much to catch up with this week. This was catching up with my boss over the weekend. She got called 3 times. The first was for a televideo cart that they used to evaluate stroke patients, wasn't connecting to our network. And by the time she got in to check things out, it was miraculously had healed itself. So that was her first call. The second call she got was one of our internet circuits went down. That was due, and that's not something we can fix. All we can do is call the vendor. And that was due to a fiber cable being cut, probably a backhoe. It's usually a backhoe. It took them about 6 hours to fix that. She couldn't even get to their website. They weren't answering their phones, so it was a pretty major cut. But finally got that all, the vendor finally got that all squared away. And then the third thing she was called about was, again, some lab results not flowing into Cerner. And she had to reboot some servers, not these, not the terminal servers, some actual servers, Windows servers. That didn't fix the problem, and it ended up being something, some of our results and records get sent over to Cerner in a format called HL7. I don't know much about it, I just know what it is. It's a format for sending medical information. One of those records was corrupt, and it's not something I could fix or my boss could fix. So we have an applications team that is also on call. So she had to call the applications team. He was able to get in and determine that message, one message was stuck. So he deleted that message, and then everything else started working. So she got called 3 times for things that she didn't have to do anything to fix. And sometimes it is that way. Sometimes if you just wait long enough, the problem heals itself. And but we don't have the luxury of just waiting. But that's how it turns out. But yeah, and the thing is, I kind of teased her about it. I said, "Boy, you've got the luck of the Irish lately, don't you? Getting called so many times." And I learned my lesson. I'm not going to tease her about that anymore, because the very next night, this was during our meeting yesterday. Very next day, I get called. So I'm not teasing her about that anymore. So anyway, all right, guys. Sorry, it's going to be kind of a short one. That's all I got this week. So if you like what you saw, click the subscribe button, click the notification bell, and give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you think. We'll catch you all next time. God bless everybody.